All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. Let's go ahead and get into Monique and Tyler Perry, right? So, if y'all did not know, Tyler Perry spoke at Angie Stone's funeral, and he had, some words to say about the way she was treated while she was alive. And then Monique had a problem with that. Because, of course, Monique always has an issue whenever she sees any type of hypocrisy over there with Tyler Perry. So let's listen.
Forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything.
I don't appreciate that shade you just threw out there. I don't. And I feel like that's a reflection of us questioning whether Christian was telling the truth. Christian Keys talking about you on the internet, whether that was you or not, and how everybody speculated. To me, it seems like Tyler is still mad that everybody thought he was down there playing with the people, child. That's what this felt like. So you're using this moment as a catalyst for your shit. Got it.
But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it? It's wrong. It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap. Y'all got to forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. But you got to be careful when you start mistreating people, especially children of God, because the Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. But you got to be careful when you start.
Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. That's what y'all use to, that whole that's what equals don't tell black people down. That's what that feel like to me. Okay. Out of black church. So this is what Monique said in response to him getting up there and doing his old, I'm a pretend pastor for the moment shit.
Community is involved and they want to see how it's going to play out because the community is saying, wait a minute, hold up. We don't know this sister to be no bullshitter. We know she a loud mouth. We know she'll say some shit off the wall. But what we know about it is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong?
Tyler.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
I absolutely said that, yeah.
So
I'm saying it now. I will let all of this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know we're going to talk about this. That's when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heat it up.
The community is involved and they want.
So this was when she recorded him admitting that he had done her wrong and saying that he would publicly apologize. And it was as if she never really got that apology, right? We know her and Lee Daniels are fine, right? Her and Lee Daniels have worked with each other since then. So we know that, it seems that Oprah and Tyler may still not really see it for Monique, but Monique has absolutely made up with Lee Daniels. Okay, so let's not act like Mo is just mad about this situation forever just because she wants to be upset about it. I think once Lee Daniels came to her and rectified the situation, they were able to move on. But Tyler and them like to play in people's face and act as if they never did nobody wrong, and that's why they're above reproach. So this is what Mo had to say. We would like to give our heartfelt condolences to Angie Stone's family and friends. Sister Angie, we stand on the shoulders of the elders and ancestors like you. So please know that your fight inspired us to write this letter. and that the fight doesn't end with your passing, as it is only beginning. Dear Tyler Perry, I recently watched your heartfelt speech at Angie Stone's funeral, where you expressed frustration over her mistreatment by the music industry. It struck me and my husband Sydney as poignant, but also made us reflect on some unsettling discrepancies in your actions towards me. Number one, you expressed anger over Angie's mistreatment, yet you labeled me difficult to work with, despite never having worked with me. How can you condemn poor treatment of others when you've imposed the same on me? We have audio of you admitting you were wrong. Number two, you asked, where's the money she's owed? Well, where's my public apology that you promised me in 2016? The false narrative you perpetuated helped blackball me, costing me tens of millions. Where's the restitution for that? Number three, you mentioned being tired of us not receiving the benefits we deserve. Yet, you asked me to promote Precious for free without a contract or compensation, which highlights your double standard. Number four, you said we should be careful in how we treat children of God. As a man of faith, where is your responsibility to act with love and truth? You promised me an apology years ago, but it's yet to come. Unlike the music industry, which you rightly criticized, we have audio documentation of your actions. Shouldn't you be held accountable too? In closing, I hope your words at Angie's funeral inspire you to correct the wrongs done to me and my family. You have the power to do so. As you shared biblical teachings, please remember, what will it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Mark 8:36. We await your response with love and respect. Monique and Sid.
Y'all gotta put.
Hallelujah. Okay.
The
Now,
community.
listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. Y'all, yes, it has been 16 years, girl. We know it has been a long time. But I'm gonna have to tell y'all she not wrong. Bitch, I hate to tell you she ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. And please don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like Tyler Perry knows this. Like, Tyler Perry knows that in some ways he cuts corners, but he'll pay the namesakes. He will pay them more than they ever get working with white production companies. He will pay them more. Okay. You've heard about it. But I feel like when he does shit like that, it's low key to offset how much you work the ones that's not namesakes. Like the people on Sisters, the people on the show Brothers, like all of those shows that he does with people that don't have a big name. I think those people get taken advantage of by the way you force them to work in short periods of time doing so much. And I feel like, you know, you not wanting to hire writers for a long time because you wanted to handle and control everything. Like, I do feel like everybody can act as if Monique is just being bitter, but she's not wrong because Tyler Perry does like to play in people's faces. And one of the ways he does that is by making sure he gives good money to Taraji, gives good money to Cicely Tyson, go arrest her. So he will pay them people more than they have ever made, and they are deserving of that. But then when it comes to the littler known actor, you'll have them working like a goddamn slave on Tyler Perry Studios. So yeah, like Monique is not necessarily wrong. She's bitter, but not wrong. Listen, Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. I feel like he must have added some writers on Black Beauty because Black Beauty was good. This second season, girl, I was absolutely enjoying it. Kerry Washington, absolutely. That's another one. Like they will pay those people. But the ones that we don't really know like that, y'all gonna be filming for 2 weeks, 20 hours a day, 24 hours a day. We're gonna get this shit done. Okay. So I feel like when it comes to work and labor and all of that, you probably work them people hella hard in a short period of time. Are you paying them right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Pay attention, because to me, low key is no different than, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, but it's no different when it comes to the way people like to fuck over people and then do these huge gestures out in public to make it seem like they not as fucked up as they are. Bill Cosby used to do this all the time. Bill Cosby would give millions and millions of dollars and help people all over the place, right? He would help people all over the place. Behind the scenes, he is drugging and assaulting people. The way he is able to balance that out in his own mind is to do all of this good shit so that I can make up for the fucked up things I'm doing in private. That's what it seems like to me. I actually saw somebody on TikTok that they have a theory that the reason why we were able to see the Cosby Show in the first place is because Bill was able to blackmail the right person. Because if you think about it, before the Cosby Show came out, Bill Cosby was still very much famous, right? So Bill Cosby in your 60s and your 70s are doing like blockbuster movies and shit like that. And white people know who he is. He is doing comedy shows, you know, he's doing comedy records. He's well known even before before the Cosby Show for being an actor and a comedian. So he's in with all of these people, right? He's going to the Playboy Mansion. He is at the parties where we're doing all of this shit and it's getting recorded. Now, all of a sudden in the damn 80s, when there's no black show like it, nowhere around, they don't even want to put black people on television unless black people are struggling by way of Good Times and you know, all of those shows and stuff like that. The only one that they had where it wasn't somebody struggling was the Jeffersons. And I feel like the Jeffersons still had we used to be struggling, but we're not anymore. And I also feel like the Jeffersons was a byproduct of how successful Good Times and shit was. Okay. So when we get to the Cosby Show, which is not showing anybody that's coming from struggle, it's showing like middle to upper class black families, from the grandparents to the actual Cosbys to their children, is showcasing you a different type of life. Back in the 80s, I'm sure that was extremely difficult to get greenlit for syndicated television. Okay. We had Different Strokes. Didn't Different Strokes have a white white father on there though? Wasn't Different Strokes the white man that adopted the black children or something like that? I feel like that's different than this black man, his black wife, doctor, lawyer. Again, 227 was another show. It's not the same, y'all. Them people were middle class or struggling. Like, what you call them? That was basically a nice project on 227, to be very clear. Like, it was very much given project, not a $1 million brownstone. You see what I'm saying? Like I think it's a little bit different, right? 227 is blue collar. 227 is blue collar. We didn't have a lot of shows that were depicted in that same way. And I need for y'all to understand, like, the Cosby Show was very much, yes, Norman Lear, exactly. And Norman Lear, a white man, was the only one that was producing some of these black shows. It was almost as if because Norman Lear was a white man, he was able to get these shows greenlit. Bill Cosby's a black man. How was he able to get a show greenlit where not only is it him starring in it, but he's the damn executive producer? He's the creator of the show. Black creator for the show. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was after the Cosby Show. So I need for y'all to understand that. Like, that happened after. Rock happened after. Parenthood happened after. The Cosby Show is 1984, I believe, to 1993. I think. It might be 91, but I think it was 93. I could be wrong. Either way, the Cosby Show made the way for Fresh Prince, for Rock, for all of those other shows. Okay. But even Rock is a blue collar. That's still not the same. Okay. That's still not the same. Okay. I need y'all to understand. Okay. For him to do that, it was very much a big deal. It was a big deal at that time, 1984. And then it blew up the way it did. So when that woman said she felt like he must have blackmailed the right person in order to get the Cosby Show greenlit, I was like, damn, bitch, you're not lying. You are not lying. I don't, why y'all just naming shows? Y'all just in the comments naming shows. I need y'all to understand that the Cosby Show paved the way for all of these shows that y'all are naming. The Cosby Show came before a lot of those shows. That's why I said the Jeffersons was like one of the only ones, but it still was. The theme song is, well, we're moving on up. This is people coming from poverty and then going to having a deluxe apartment in the sky. The Cosby Show was not that. The Cosby Show was my people had money. I went to college. I met my wife. Her people had money. She went to college. She a lawyer. I'm a doctor. This is a brownstone in motherfucking New York. And we got 5 kids, bitch. We got 5 children. Do you know how hard it is for a woman to go to be a lawyer and have 5 children with a man that's a doctor? That's completely out of scope for normalcy. Even if a man was a doctor, his wife would not have been a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? She would have been a stay-at-home mom. So please understand, the Cosby Show probably was very difficult to get greenlit because of what it represented, which was Black people that are escaping struggle. They're not showing reference to struggle. They don't know nothing about struggle. That's not their life. Okay? Y'all can bring up as many struggle shows as y'all want to. The Cosby Show was not a struggle show. Okay? That was the difference. And that's why I'm low-key feeling like that lady might have been right. But I say all that to say Bill Cosby was one of those people that I think was doing a lot of good shit to offset for the fucked up things that he was doing in private. So when you see people like Tyler Perry, sometimes, you know, it rings a bell. Like, are you doing this good thing because you really want to be a good person to somebody? Or are you doing it good because you're trying to offset for whatever fucked up shit that we don't know about that you may be doing? Because there are some contradictions happening here. You know, that's all. Just like to think about it. But I'm still appreciative of Tyler Perry. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, Black Beauty was really, really good, y'all. I can't wait to see the actual second season because they broke up the first season into 2 parts. Okay. Yeah, no, of course, not all Black people grew up struggling, but that was not depicted on television. That was absolutely not something you would see often on TV. But anyway, y'all, let's move on. So Julia wasn't a struggle show, and it came out in 1968. Diane Carroll played a nurse in an aerospace doctor's office. She didn't struggle and was the standard. I don't know what you mean was the standard. Julia was the first of its kind, and you did not see another one like it after, did you? Did you ever see a show of a successful Black woman by herself? Like until the Cosby Show? Like, yes, these things happened. Please don't get me wrong. It's not the same thing as what the Cosby Show brought when it came to family dynamic. Like, it's still not the same. I understand what you mean, but that one in 1968, and we did the Cosby Show until 1984. So I feel like it's still not the same. And yeah, this is what I thought, because I never really watched Julia because it wasn't in syndication on Nick at Night back during my day. And y'all are saying, this is another thing. Julia was a single mother. She was not married. This is another thing I feel like y'all are not understanding about the Cosby Show and why it was such a big thing. As I said, the depiction of a doctor and a lawyer being rich in a brownstone with 5 children is not an average look for Black people. It's just not. Julia is, yes, a black woman that's working. Black women were nurses. That's not outside of, outside of anybody's span of understanding. But that was absolutely the first time a black woman was given a show as the lead. That was the first time a black woman was given a show as the lead without a male counterpart. Move on, Bondi. Some won't get it. I feel like they really don't get it. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But I'm standing on what I said, that just because you saw one or two black shows, you have to know how many white shows there were out there for us to only pull a handful of black shows from the 60s to the 80s that showcased a life that was not poverty stricken for black people. Like, for us to act as if that wasn't a huge thing is to ignore why the Cosby Show was so big in the first place. I was just watching the episode of the Golden Girls where they did not want to have that mean ass old lady's funeral on a Thursday. Hell no, because the Cosby Show came on Thursdays. Like, I need for y'all to understand like how big that was and why it was so big. It's because it depicted something that was aspirational. It was not the norm for most black people. It wasn't. It's not the norm for most black people now. Like, most black people do not live in most people, period. White people, black people don't live in a certain tax bracket. You feel me? So at the end of the day, even though you can bring as many examples as you want to, we all understand, based on several documentaries and the history of television, period, that the Cosby Show brought something that was totally different than what the status quo was at that time, and more than the status quo of what we were seeing in real life. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Norman Lear gave you Maude, which gave you All in the Family first. Then All in the Family gave you Maude, and then also gave you Good Times. It was, a few shows from the Norman Lear sector, and that was still a white man that was getting these black people put on television. Not the same thing as Bill Cosby having his own show that he owns on, what was it back then? CBS? Like, that was still huge. I think y'all are also missing. It's not just about the fact that it was a show about a black family, an aspirational black family. It was about the fact that the show was owned by a black man, which makes it completely different than some of the shows that y'all are referencing. Was it NBC? Okay, so I can never keep up with the NBC, CBS. Like, I can't keep up. Okay, but yeah, NBC, got it. It definitely broke barriers, right? The Jeffersons also came from All in the Family. Any show by Norman Lear was a byproduct of All in the Family. Okay? And for white people, All in the Family was so out of the norm because they weren't used of watching like lower to middle class families on television acting as they really were. Because for white people, TV had always been aspirational. For white people, the TV shows were always depicting something that wasn't actually happening. For black people, it was like, no, we're going to have black people up here. We got to show them as things actually are. The Cosby Show might have been the first time they were actually giving you something that was aspirational for black people. Then you go and you have something another show that was aspirational, and I didn't even realize it. Living Single was aspirational, y'all. Living Single was aspirational, and I didn't even realize it. I know a lot of people like to argue with me about this, but the success level that those women had in New York City at that time, at that age, it seemed as if they were way ahead at a very young age. That also wasn't the norm. You feel me? So yeah, either way, there's a documentary on Mac about the history of TV shows and shit like that. Get into that. That was real cute. Okay, that was very cute. Get into that. But yes, I was moving on and I want to move on. So Marcellus Wiley.